Hey hotties, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Babbling Bimbo Podcast. A place for me to talk about fashion, film, pop culture, video games, truly whatever I am hyperfixating on at the time. You never know. It could be anything. I kind of started doing this on my YouTube channel, but I am probably the slowest editor in the entire universe because I am a little bit of a perfectionist. Gigi, do not jump on my computer, my love, please. So I really wanted a place where I could talk about more things and not have as much pressure to edit them perfectly. And a podcast seemed like the right place. I also have like a fear of podcasting just because it feels very open and vulnerable, which is scary. I like to hide behind my super edited videos. It just feels like a safe place for me. But this is good. This is my year of doing all of the things that scare me and just like having the damn audacity. So here I am. I am another person with a self-indulgent podcast. Yes! I think everyone should just do that. I'm already the kind of person that sends too many voice memos, so it was just inevitable for me to have my own podcast. You know, like the pipeline from voice memo person to podcaster it's just there, okay? And here I am. I finally did it. So welcome. I am just so excited to have a place to talk about more things in between some of my more involved video projects. Like right now I'm working on a very big project that's taken me quite a while. Like I'm still in the scripting phase, but I just really want it to be well researched and an interesting take on it. It's just gonna take me a while. So this will be fun in the meantime. And with all of that being said, let's get into our first topic because I truly cannot wait any longer to talk about this. We gotta talk about Iron Lung. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I would just like to say that this movie did come out at the perfect time because I myself am carrying around my own ocean of blood, if you know what I mean. So it was perfect. I was ready. I was on theme, you could say. And I did have the pleasure of going to one of the premieres where Mark himself was present. Just kidding. No, I live in the Midwest, so no one comes here. Now, I'm like in a hole and people just like go around, but nothing exciting happens here in my hole. No, it was really cute though. They had the boards decked out for Iron Lung, so there was like blood everywhere, which was really exciting. And then they had like a little cutout of Mark on the wall, like welcoming you in. So I thought that was really fun. Oh. So I guess I should give a little bit of background on the game for the people out there that haven't played it or watched it. I'll try not to do like too many spoilers. So if you haven't played the game, like you might want to just skip this part, I guess. I'm not gonna do too much though. I'll just do like some of the basic things that you find out pretty early on in the game. Like I'm not gonna give away the ending or anything like that. This is actually a game that I myself would not enjoy playing. It's not my type of game, but I love watching other people play it because I really enjoy the lore from it. It's not the gameplay that I personally enjoy. I'm more of a shooter girl. Puzzles and like just sitting around having to do tasks sometimes makes me very angry, but the lore in this game is just so good. I will give it a pass because of that. We'll do a quick explanation of the universe. So it is a dystopian world where humans really invested in space exploration and managed to manifest destiny the hell out of the universe. So they are all over the place on multiple planets. There's space stations all over the place. So we are just spread throughout the universe, which, you know, it's kind of cool, but also like maybe we weren't supposed to be doing that because then there's like a rapture called the Quiet Rapture, which makes 99% of humanity and the universe disappear. So that's fun. And like maybe And maybe that's a sign that we were not supposed to just control everything. Okay, so flash forward to the future, like where the game actually takes place. And we are a convict that's part of the convict realization program. Sounds fun, right? Basically, just do all of these really shitty jobs for us, and maybe we'll make you into not a convict anymore. And we have the unfortunate task of exploring one of the 4 moons that just have blood oceans on them. Ow! Blood oceans. Okay, and if you want to know what the blood is, I cannot tell you at this moment because it is a spoiler. So don't ask me. And we are also in what is equivalent of a giant dumpster that has just been thrown into this blood ocean. So the odds of us surviving don't look good, okay? And basically the gameplay is you exploring this blood ocean. You have all these different coordinates that you have to get to and take pictures of, and that's pretty much the whole gameplay. And then there is added lore that is on this terminal that is inside of the ship, and that's really where you get most of the information from the game. That's the most interesting part to me. I feel like that's all I can give away without giving away too much of the movie. If you haven't played the game, brief rundown, all right? So let's get into my thoughts of the movie. Immediately, I was so excited because the ship itself looks so accurate to the game. Like, you really do feel like you're just in the game. It looks so good. There were some practical changes made for things to just like be in spaces that made sense. There's also a chair that was added, which I don't know if I loved that. I mean, it makes sense to like be able to sit down and do stuff, but I did see one comment of someone that was like, would they actually care to give this man a chair? I don't think so. And I think that that's very valid. I don't think they would care enough to give him a chair, but it was there. My second initial thought was, damn, they promised blood, and by George, they delivered. There was a lot of blood in this, and I was so excited about it. There will be blood. You know what I mean? I think something that they did particularly well was capturing the feeling of claustrophobia. And I think a lot of this is due to their budget being so small. They really had to get creative with a lot of the camera work, which I thought was amazing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But they were able to really make you feel like you were trapped in this submersible, and that fear that is created because of that. Because I guess I should explain a little bit of the layout of the ship. So you can't see out the front window because they have to have it blocked off. Otherwise, the pressure will become too intense with the glass, so that you can't see out the front. The only way you can see is with this mysterious camera that you push the button of, and it takes a picture, and you can like see what's outside. So it is a very ominous situation. You can hear like sounds of the ship itself creaking. You can kind of hear some sounds outside. It is, so that was something that was really important, was the sound design, and I think that was also done really well. But just creating that feeling of being trapped, oh my gosh, it really got me excited and made me think of the first Alien movie, which is one of those horror movies I always go back to because it is just done so well. I don't like when movies answer too many questions, so that's why I struggled to enjoy some of the later Aliens as much, because they really just start to make the world too big, and it's less of that unknown feeling that made that first one so scary, because we're trapped in tight spaces. We don't really know what's happening, and it's just so scary. So you're just in this enclosed space with this terrifying entity, and we're getting like little breadcrumbs of information every once in a while, and that's exactly what I want in this type of movie. I'm just so happy that they kept that energy from the game, because that's how the game is too. Like, you really don't get a whole lot of information, and that's what makes it so good. That's what makes it so scary and suspenseful, and it's a little bit of like a psychological thriller in that way, because it's like really fucking with his mind, and you'll see he just really starts to go downhill. And I like that they don't explain exactly why. There's a lot of different things that could be leading to that. We also got some more confirmation of some lore details that were things that we just kind of made inferences about using the terminal, because the terminal will say something. For example, this is not really like a spoiler because you find this out immediately. The whole thing about him being a convict, part of the convict realization program, is something that we kind of made an inference about. Like, okay, so this is us, right? And we were part of Filament Station. We don't exactly know what happened on Filament Station, but we know that we are a part of it and we have been captured as a result of that. So that's something that is like confirmed within the movie, which is very cool. There is also some moments between the characters that really emphasize what we kind of get from the game already, that there are multiple sides to these stories. So in the terminal itself, there's like all of these redacted bits that really make you kind of question what you just read. You're like, huh, maybe there's a little bit more to this story. And they do that really well with the dialogue in the movie, which was exciting because I love when you get told something, but you're like, maybe I shouldn't trust that. Actually, I do not think that this is a reliable source. So you're kind of like, okay, I've gotten information. I don't really know what to do with it. Okay, so let's talk about the camera work. The use of light and reflections was very innovative, especially because they didn't have a massive budget, so they really had to work with what they had. There were some scenes that were filmed through grates. They were filmed from off angles, which was really cool, and the reflection scenes are really what got me excited. There was one scene specifically where he wakes up and it's just the reflection of the button, because that's another thing that they do really well is the lighting, because it's pretty dark in the ship at times, so there's just the light of the button or the light of the camera, and they really remember this, which is incredible because often in horror movies the characters don't really acknowledge the darkness enough, and it's like, you wouldn't be able to see. I need you to be like scrounging around looking for light, and that does happen. There's points where he's using like little lights, he's using the camera as lights. Like, I thought that that was very cool, and it added to the survival element of this, because that's something that this movie did really well, was it felt like a survival game. I do, however, think that that might turn some people off because that meant that it had a very slow start. It was very much a slow burn, which is something that I enjoy. I love a movie that just feels like a lived experience. Like, I am experiencing this scary survival situation with this character. Like, he is spending a lot of time doing these tasks, trying to figure out what's going on, and the story is slowly unfolding with that. So I can understand that some people will think that it's a little bit slow. Personally, I thought it was perfect because it is reminiscent of just a horror game in general. Additionally, the practical effects were truly inspired. It was so cool to see so much organic matter and blood everywhere. Like, I just love seeing that. Also, the fact that they built the entire ship just made it look so much better, because my one critique as far as the aesthetics go was that some of the bigger special effects did not look nearly as good as the practical stuff. It took me out of it at parts when they would do something less practical, but that's just to be expected with the budget. It didn't ruin the movie by any means for me. I thought they did a really good job playing with lighting to make those scenes look a little bit better, but it was hard because the practical stuff looked so good, and then it would go to these other moments and I was like, but it's okay. It doesn't ruin the movie for me by any means. There was one slow-mo scene that really made me so excited, where you just see, I can't really say what happens, but basically there's blood splattering everywhere in slow-mo as something's happening to the ship, and you see every single little droplet of the blood, and it looks so fantastic. It just looks delicious. I think delicious is the best way to explain this scene. I know it sounds weird, but just the way that everything is happening, you can see like every single detail in it. They just did that scene very well. The score, sound design, great. Very classic horror suspense. Things would get louder as things are getting more stressful. They did a good job with the ocean sounds and the creakiness, and also using some of those quieter moments to build up dread, because this movie really perfectly captured the loneliness of galactic horror. You're meant to feel so small in the grand scheme of the universe, and with this story having so little humans left, it really adds to that loneliness and that dread, and it was just so good, so depressing. Yes! Also, having to solve puzzles and shit while in this scary situation would really get me. Like, this is some type of Saw trap shit. You must chart the bottom of this blood ocean. Live or die, the choice is yours.
Oh, yes. there will be blood.
And I'm not a cartographer, so I don't think I would be able to survive this one. I struggle with my left and rights, so cartography is one that's not for me. I always wished it was. Like, imagine being just an OG cartographer. Like, you were in charge of just charting the entire world. Like, that's kind of sick. It wouldn't be me. So this trap, I'm not making it out of. Now let's talk about the acting. How did Markiplier do?
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
I think he did pretty good. It started out a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. Those first couple of scenes, I only saw Mark. It was hard for me to see Simon, but as he started to get more comfortable with the character, I thought he did a really good job. In some of those more stressful scenes, I think he really captured the character. I think it was harder earlier on because the only thing that was happening was like him reacting to stuff. So that's harder to act, but I really do think he did a good job. Overall, I thought this was a really great movie. It really surprised me. I was just so excited to see how they would expand this game, because this game, I didn't even say this at the beginning, this game is like maybe 20 minutes, maybe 45 if you're reading through all the shit on the terminal, but it is not a long game at all. So for all this like 2-hour movie to come out of it was very impressive. And I love getting lore expansions, so that was lit for me. Okay, I need a blanket. I'm kind of cold. Okay, actually, can I do like a little bit of a spoiler part? Just like very short. I'm not going to say a lot, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, skip to this timestamp. So, okay, I'm just so excited. So we all know, we already know, the blood is human blood. Oh my God. But I'm just so excited at the prospect of there being like some type of a hive mind. Oh, that's so creepy. That's so creepy. And I love that in like a galactic horror. So that part has got me super excited. If they decide to ever do more of this, they might not. This could definitely be a standalone. But if they decide to expand this universe, I just see so much potential for some creepy shit. Okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more spoilers. I just had to get that out with somebody. So thank you for listening to me. Hi, welcome back, my spoiler-free friends. I'm so sorry. I just had to get that one little thing out. But let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Yes! I would just like to make a public service announcement. If you are mad about the Super Bowl halftime show, it's not for you. Listen, that's your break time. You get the entire game to sit, watch, have a good time. Halftime, that's for the girls, the gays, and the theys, okay? Listen, we are forced to go to these Super Bowl parties every year. We are there for the food, and we're there for the halftime show. You get everything else. Use halftime as your time to go get another brewski, take a leak, I don't care. That's my time, all right? I have sat through you screaming and low-key harassing everyone at this party because your team is doing shit. Let me have my halftime show, okay? Bad Bunny, incredible choice. Also makes the most sense because the NFL has been trying to appeal to a worldwide audience. So it makes sense to pick an international sensation. I'm so sorry, your favorite country artist is not an international sensation. That is not music that does well internationally. You know what does? Bad Bunny, okay? So that just makes sense. Also, Green Day. I mean, who doesn't love Green Day? I think even people that don't like the politics of Green Day still kind of like Green Day. Their music is great. They're a rock band. What? Like, come on. Actually, Green Day was one of my first ever stadium concerts, and it was truly so good. It was during the Revolution radio era, and it truly changed my life. It was so much fun. And that album was actually so good. I wasn't sure about it at first, but then like hearing it live, I was like, no, this is an incredible album. And now it's still like one of my favorite ones I go back to a lot. Also, if they don't say fuck Trump at the Super Bowl, I will be very upset. Because what a missed opportunity. It'll be so funny. Can you just imagine how he'll react to them saying that? Oh, it'll just be so funny. And I need it to happen very badly. But I'm excited about the Super Bowl halftime show. And I don't need anyone ruining it with their piss poor attitude, okay? You have the whole game. You have the whole game and the commercials, okay? Let me have the halftime show. Fuck! I've tried to understand football and I just hate it. It does not appeal to me. And I don't hate sports. I I like sports. I don't hate sports. There's a lot of sports that I enjoy. Football is just not one of those sports. Okay, I also want to talk about some of the shows that I've been watching. So I have finally caught up on the Pitt, which, you know, it's still great. It's such a good show. I love a medical drama that actually focuses a little bit more on the medical side of things, because as much as I like Grey's Anatomy, it's one that kind of got boring for me after a while. I did not make it that far. It just could not keep my attention. But the Pitt is just so good because it really like draws you in. But I really cannot get over the sudden disappearance of Dr. Collins this season. I know they kind of set it up that her 4 years are over and she got another job at a different hospital, but come on, at least give us one more season, like maybe like a guest appearance. I don't know. I just wasn't ready. I felt like I didn't get enough resolution for her to just be gone. Okay. It just wasn't enough time. And maybe I'm kind of that guy that shipped her and Robbie. Don't judge me, okay? I'm just a girl who sees the potential there, okay? I know IRL, they would never work. I know this. I'm very aware of this fact. But in the show, we could have a little moment. Their banter was just so good. So good. It made me sad. But yeah, so far I'm excited for the season. I've heard 4th of July is just truly insane in the ER. I have a lot of family that have worked in healthcare, so I've heard some batshit crazy stories. So I'm excited to see what they pull out for this one. I also finished I Love LA while I was in LA because I really wanted to absorb the ironic glory in its full. And I did, and it was great. And that is actually the next video that I'm working on, so I won't get too much into it now. And if you're wondering if my trip was good, my trip was great. I got to see my family, eat a lot of food, go and see some sites that I hadn't gotten to see before, because I am from the LA area originally. But when you're living there, I feel like you don't do a lot of touristy stuff. Like, I didn't really start doing touristy stuff till I was going back to visit, and now every time I go out there, I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this. Like, I have a whole list of things, and me and my mom decided to like finally do all of the downtown LA touristy things. We finally did the Angels flight. We went to Grand Central Market. We saw the big ass library downtown. Oh, amazing. And then we went to the Last Bookstore, which was probably my favorite stop. It was so much fun. Got to see so many books. Oh, it was amazing. And we found parking for $10. $10 downtown LA. I really felt like that was a win. It was a little bit of a walk, but worth it for $10. Come on now. And I did get a lot of B-roll. Too much to be honest. Truly more footage than I will ever need in my life. I am going to drive myself insane. Editing Carly cannot handle all of this extra shit I decide to film. Help me, Jesus! I am going to lose it for sure. Ah! But there was just so many pretty things. And I was in so much traffic, and in traffic, I would just get bored and I would start filming. My bad. Ooh, something I don't think I've talked about yet is my new phone. Check it. Yeah, that's right. I'm a flip phone bitch now. What's up? I am cooler than you. You know, I'm not socially bound like the rest of you. I'm free from the grasps. Just kidding. I still have my iPhone usually nearby because I can't do all of my work stuff from this, which is unfortunate because I do a lot of scheduling. So unfortunately, I do have to have my online calendar because it is for my family's business. So all of us have access to the calendar. And this unfortunately does not have that ability, so it's not real. It's definitely helped though. Like when I go out, I never bring that phone. That's like just a work phone, so it usually just stays at work. So it is nice to have this when I go out, and then I'll just have a book. So it has increased my reading. Ooh, which I can talk about what I've been reading. Hold on. Which I have been reading Frankenstein. I'm kind of late to the Frankenstein train. I know. But here's why. I didn't watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein for a while. I knew I was going to have issues with it because as a classics girly, especially when it comes to monster horror, those are my favorite. Dracula, Jekyll and Hyde, Picture of Dorian Gray, like those are my favorite type of books. So I knew that I was going to go in and be a little cynical. And I wasn't ready for that. So I waited a long time to watch it. I watched it like maybe a month ago now. And I kind of like, because I liked it, but it was just not really the Frankenstein that I remembered. So I was like, I have to read the book again. And I did. And yeah, the movie just, it doesn't quite catch the nuances of the book. It really, I think casting Jacob Elordi was a little bit of a mistake because they don't let him be as monstrous as he really is in the book. It goes for both of them though, because Oscar Isaac is the nicest Dr. Frankenstein ever. Dr. Frankenstein is kind of an asshole. That's like the biggest thing in the book, is even reading about him when he was younger. Like he's low-key like an asshole, and they make him too nice and like dreamy in the movie. That is not him. He is very self-obsessed. He doesn't have this respect for Elizabeth. He sees her as a prize to be won, and it just like they made him seem too nice. They made him seem too sympathetic. And same with the creature. He is a sympathetic character once you know his backstory, but it doesn't negate what he does later on, because he's a little bit vindictive. And I'm gonna say he's a little bit valid in it. Actually, that's something that really bothered me. I shouldn't spoil this too much. I'm so bad about spoiling things. I just want to talk about them, so it's hard for me not to. Okay, basically, I think both characters could have been written a little grimier, it felt like their edges were sanded out too much for me, and I didn't fully enjoy that in the movie. But the book, still great. Forgot how little Elizabeth gets to do though. That was the one thing I really appreciated about the movie, was Elizabeth got to be a bit more of a character, but to the detriment of the story of Dr. Frankenstein himself. Like, Victor is supposed to be so annoying because of the way he treats Elizabeth as not really a person. So I don't know. I don't really know how I felt about it. But it looked great. The costumes were so sick.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
The lighting was cool. So if I just look at it aesthetically, fun movie. Awesome. I think I got distracted. I was talking about my phone and then I immediately started talking about Frankenstein. Yeah. So far, what do I think about having a flip phone? Yeah. I think it's fun most of the time. I don't think I'm necessarily curbing my technology addiction yet, because I do still have access to all of my social medias, and I have my computer and my other phone still. So I don't think I'm doing it right, but maybe it'll work eventually. It is just so fun to talk on though. It's like I'm having so much fun, like slamming my calls shut, like, it's so cute. But no, I'm still madly addicted to social media, so that's unfortunate. I just love being chronically online. I like to know what's going on. I think that's all I have to talk about, really. Oh, I do have a quote of the week. I thought that would be fun to have a quote of the week from just somebody in my life that has said something funny. And this week we have some feminist thought from my grandpa, who, it was his birthday when he said this, so happy birthday! Yay! And he says, why do they call them snowmen? Should be snow women. Am I right? Yes, right. We love the intention. However, it does lack some of the intersectionality to make it truly a modern feminist take, but we still love it. No, for real, I thought it was really cute, so I thought I would share that here. All right. I think that's all I have. And with that, me and Gigi just want to remind you to have the damn audacity. Do the thing that you've been wanting to do. Don't be afraid.
Do it.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us.